Now, we've all played with that guy. The guy that shoots everything. I don't care if they're double teamed, deep threes, whether they're off balance, 3 people in their face. And in their mind, they're thinking every shot is a good shot. They miss 8 in a row. What do they say? I'm due for one. And every once in a while, they'll throw up one of those terrible shots and everybody will react, no! Yes! And now they're looking at you crazy like, I told you so. But deep down, we all know that was a bad shot. It just happened to go in. And what do they do next? You already know. They're going down court celebrating, talking smack to people, as if they knew the whole time that that shot was going in regardless of what they were doing. But in reality, we've all heard the quote, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. And now that's the dangerous part, because now they're thinking they're in the groove. They hit their shot that they needed to get back on the street. And one moment of brilliance gives them that false sense of confidence.
I can get 81 if I factor this in. I got 15 in the first. That was easy. Wasn't doing nothing. It was easy. I was just
What 81 you talking about?
Kobe's 81.
Boy, it's out the mud. We got Rashad McCown.
Kobe's 81. Kobe's 81.
And that's exactly how people treat their money. They hit on one risky move and all of a sudden they're a profit. And they're walking around like they have everything figured out. I don't care if it's crypto, options, a hot stock. When one of those hits, they feel justified. Like, see, bro, I knew what I was doing. But in reality, that doesn't make it smart. It just means you got lucky. See, and this is where people get confused. They judge decisions based off of outcomes, when in reality, a bad decision that works is still a bad decision. That just means you got away with it. And if you keep taking those types of shots, eventually the clock stops being right. And then there's the I'm due mindset. This one's dangerous because it sounds like confidence, but in reality, it's a gambler's logic. You missed 8 shots in a row. You're not due. The ball does not owe you anything. The same thing with money. You lost on your last 3 trades. You're not due. The market doesn't care about how many times you've been wrong. It really only cares about what you do next. Now, I want to be careful here because I don't want it to sound like you shouldn't ever take these shots. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is there's a huge difference between confidence and having a track record that backs it up. If Steph Curry pulls up from 30 feet, that's not the same as you pulling up from 30 feet. Steph Curry has made that shot thousands of times in practice, in games, in the playoffs, with multiple defenders in his face, completely under pressure. He's legitimately a champion. There's a body of work that goes behind that shot. When the ball leaves Steph Curry's hands, the defense expects it to go in. The crowd expects it to go in. Steph Curry expects it to go in. And in reality, most times it goes in. But you on Tuesday night in the men's league, fresh off a missed layup, you don't have the track record. You have vibes. And money works the exact same way. When a seasoned investor makes a move, there's a framework behind it. There's data, there's risk management, there's a system. They're not guessing, they've done the back end work. But when you see a ticker scrolling on social media, you don't have the track record. You have a hunch. And don't confuse a hunch for a strategy. Now, on the flip side, you do have guys that night in and night out, they'll drop 20, 25, 30 points. But if you actually look at the numbers, they shot 9 for 28. They took nearly 30 shots. But when you look at their stats, it shows that they had 25 points. And if you were to only look at the scoreboard, you would think that that guy had the best game of his life. But if you were just to watch the tape, you would see that he was shooting the ball over 3 defenders. He was forcing the issue every time down the floor and just taking terrible shots. The issue is he wasn't efficient. He was just having a lot of volume shooting. And you can't mistake volume for value. And that right there is honestly a lot of people's investing story. They'll tell you about the one trade. They'll tell you about that one stock. They'll even tell you about that one deal, but what they won't tell you about is those 10 that they lost money on right before those. All they want to show you is their highlights and their and one mixtape of investments. And we've all been around that guy, the one that sounds like he's crushing it, but if you take a look back at the whole picture, it tells a different story. And in reality, that's not investing. It's volume with a few highlights in between. Now, let me tell you about some of the best players I've ever seen play. They don't shoot more shots than everybody else. They shoot better shots than everybody else. They have better spacing, better timing, better feet, better form, better shot selection. And that's the key difference. They're just better at knowing which shots are actually worth taking. And let me hit you with one more thing. Every coach I ever had and every great coach I've ever watched, they all say the same thing. You have to know your personnel, meaning you have to know who's on the floor with you. You have to know what they can do and you have to know what they can't do. So that means don't run a pick and pop for the guy who can't shoot. Don't throw a no-look pass to the guy with stone hands. And don't post up your stretch four against a real big. Because when you put your teammate in a spot that they shouldn't even be in, it results in a bad shot or a turnover. And the crazy part is that's not their fault. It's yours. Because you gave them the ball in a spot that they're not built for. You trusted them with something they had no business being trusted with. And money works the exact same way. Every single dollar has its own job. It has its own role, and it has something that it's built specifically for. Your emergency fund isn't built for volatile plays. Your retirement fund isn't built for the next hot stock. Your down payment money isn't built for a 2-year drawdown. Each dollar has its own role. And when you ask one of those dollars to do something it wasn't built for, it results in a bad shot and it results in a turnover. You can't put a bench dollar in a starter's role and expect it to perform the same way. So before you take a shot with any of your money, you should always ask yourself, am I putting this dollar in the best position to succeed? Because here's the truth a lot of people miss. Every dollar has its own opportunity cost. Every dollar that you've put into a risky play is a dollar that you can't have working for you somewhere else. Every I'm due bet is costing you an opportunity to build something real. Let me put it in this way. Imagine you're the point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. You have the ball in your hand and your sole job is to get somebody a good shot. Be honest with me. If you're picking between dumping it off to DeAndre Ayton or swinging it over to the wing to LeBron James, who gives you the best odds to get an assist? If it's me, I'm taking LeBron 10 times out of 10. And I don't say this to take a shot at DeAndre Ayton, but LeBron has the track record. He's the all-time leading scorer. We all know LeBron finishes. LeBron converts under pressure. 9 times out of 10, LeBron makes you look good even when the defense knows it's coming. And money works the exact same way. Every dollar you allocate towards something, consider it a pass. And the question that comes with that is, are you passing that to something that finishes, something that compounds, something that grows over time, something that's proven to convert over time? Or are you dumping it off to a play that might finish, but probably won't? Every dollar deserves the best pass you can give it. Because opportunity cost isn't just what you lost on a bad play. It's the assist that you could have had you just made a better pass. And check this out. There's a stat in basketball that most casual fans don't necessarily know about. It's called your plus minus. It measures what happened to the score while you were on the floor. So in this scenario, you can have 30 points, look at your highlights and feel like a hero. But if you go to the plus minus, you were negative 15, meaning while you were out there, your team gave up 15 more than what they scored, resulting in a 30-point night that still lost you the game. And a lot of people are living that life financially. One hot pick is up 40% and they're up posting about it on social media, telling the world about it. But if you took a step back and you checked out their plus minus, the taxes, the losses on their other plays, the dead money sitting on the bench, the opportunity cost of every dollar. In reality, they really lost ground. And that's why opportunity cost may not always show up on the scoreboard, but it's always showing up on the box score. So here's what I want to leave you with. Just because you can take the shot doesn't mean you should. Not every opportunity is worth taking up. The best players pass up bad shots so they can work towards good ones. And the people who actually build wealth do the same thing with their money. At Hyde Legacy Group, we're not here to tell you what shot to take. We're here to help you build the kind of strategy that doesn't allow you to rely on I'm due energy, where every move has a reason, where every dollar has a job, and where your wealth isn't built on luck, but on shot selection. If that's the kind of game you're ready to play, let's have a conversation. Because real wealth isn't built on taking more shots, it's about taking the right ones. Click the link in the description below, and I look forward to speaking with you.